Hello and welcome to another edition of the Hidden Laws, the power of you. This is the Hidden
Yeah,
Law episodes.
yeah. Welcome. Good afternoon, Mr. Bartlett. He's Blaine Bartlett.
And that's Dr. Doland White,
Good
extraordinaire.
afternoon.
Yeah.
The
How's
doctors are
everybody
in the
doing
house.
this afternoon, this morning, this evening, wherever you might be viewing this from in the world?
Yeah. And this is a good one. This is the last of the hidden laws.
And there are 7 hidden laws we've been working with.
Right?
And this one is kind of the capstone. And when we think of leadership, we always, I think, default mostly to how do we motivate people? The quintessential question of leadership, how do I get people to do what needs to be done that they don't want to do?
Right.
It's kind of, you got to find a way to kind of move them along.
That's so well said. How do you get people to do what they don't want to do? Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
And to do it happily. Yeah. I'm thinking of Tom
Right.
Sawyer painting a fence here.
I know. Good analogy. For you youngsters, Tom Sawyer was in a book written by some guy named Mark Twain, but that's another story. There you go.
Yep. And there's a whole story there that is worth exploring if you are of a mind.
You should.
That being said, this series on the hidden laws, I've had a really good time doing this because these laws aren't real obvious to people. And And if you can become aware of them and then marry them into some of the ways that you're actually thinking and doing, you can actually begin to uncover some very interesting ways to move yourself, your people, and your organization. And that's what this whole thing is about, the hidden laws of leadership. They either constrain you or enable you.
Yeah, this is one of the things that, of course, we've covered a lot of different topics in this Power of You series playing over the year, but I would say, go back and listen to all of the laws and listen to this capstone law that we talk about. And when you pull those out, these are, to Blaine's point, these are things a lot of you don't hear spoken about. That just people don't talk about these laws, hence hidden laws. I suppose there you go.
There you go. Yeah. And we're going to kick this one off with I think just a really interesting quote. This comes from Charles Dickens. The most important thing in life is to stop saying, I wish, and start saying, I will. Consider nothing impossible, then treat possibilities as probabilities. This meshes so nicely with the way that we frame leadership. Leadership is about making possibilities visible so that they can become in people's minds probabilities. And if they can become probabilities, now you can do something to execute towards the reality of them. But it starts with possibility.
Yeah.
Starts with possibility.
I love this quote, Blaine, because it transcends that. I think leaders, everybody, me too, we forget that the words that we say matter.
Yeah.
It's easy to, I wish, rather than if only
one day,
sometime, someday. Yes. Rather than I will.
Yeah.
And proclaim it.
That linguistic shift from I wish to I will indicates that there's some motivating factor in place.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to unbundle this in this episode is, what is that motivating dynamic? And we're going to use the word motivation as kind of a placeholder for a much bigger understanding than what most people consider motivation to be. Yeah. This is why we call this the hidden law of massive motivation.
Right.
Hidden law of massive motivation. That's where we're going with this. So,
yeah, here's our law. Yeah, essential self, law of distorted reality, fun conversations, vibrational fit, creative constraint, which just happened to pull. I was going through that with a client this morning. Beautiful constraint. We're talking about constraints. There you go. Superstructure, great, elegant movement last week, and beauty. And today, massive motivation. One of the things as we lean into this, and maybe as a good preamble, just into it, maybe, and we were talking a little bit about this before we hit go, is when we talk a lot, we talk about motivation and we talk inspiration and the importance of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Just on a wild hair. This is completely unrehearsed, everybody, by the way. We do this is how we roll. Just a moment, just on why we've gone back to the word motivation. What does that mean?
Yeah. You think a stimulus response. What stimulates a response?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that stimulus can be, and the label that's usually attached to it is motivating. Something motivated me to do this.
Yeah.
Okay. Typically, the orientation is something out there caught my attention, and energy will follow attention. Something out there caught my attention, and I got curious and I started moving in that direction. So leaders will almost always default to a carrot and stick, the external rewards structure or punishment structure. That's
right.
one side of the coin. Very legitimate. The other side, and this is also a motivator, but we discriminate here and make a distinction. It's called inspiration. What tapped into the spirit that is who I am, that wants to be expressed as fully as it possibly can. When I'm inspired, there's a piece of me that kind of goes, oh, I can't not do that, be that, move towards that.
Right.
It's in me and it wants to come out of me. It has nothing to do necessarily with what's going on outside of me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a motivator in that sense. It's an inspirational compulsion. I can't do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you can tie, and this is why we call this the law of massive motivation. When you can bring traditional motivational strategies and thinking, and you bring in inspiration as a catalyst, you have got a way to, and it's almost unbreakable. I mean, it really is. You will find commitment rolls with this marriage. Yeah. People are not turned away. They're not discouraged. They're not dissuaded. They're inspired and motivated. All of this comes into play here. This is the law of massive motivation.
Yeah.
And it requires a coupling of two elements, inspiration and traditional thinking around motivation.
Yeah. So listen carefully to this, leaders, as we go through this, because it's easy to confuse the two. This is that. As a matter of fact, I would challenge you, put your hands together, bring your elbows up, put your hands together like that, and encourage someone around you on either side to pull your hands apart. And in this mode, it's extremely difficult to do that because you're combining power. This is a combined power of the two premises.
That's a great metaphor.
And I learned it in a bar fight once, kind of. Anyway.
Of course you did.
Hard to imagine. There you go.
Oh, Lordy. So this is all about leadership. These hidden laws are leadership laws. They are subliminal. They're out of conscious awareness typically. And when we're looking at how we define leadership, and this is unique. I mean, this really is a unique definition. This is something that Doland and I leverage everything that we're doing with our clients around. Influencing has nothing to do with command and control. Influencing your state of being. How are you showing up? What kind of leaders cause movement? What kind of movement do you cause just by your presence? Without ever opening your mouth, you have caused people to move when you show up in their environment. You don't even have to physically show up. If they think about you, they start having this sort of dynamic going on in their bodies, either attracting or repulsing, but there's something going on. You're causing movement all the time. You are a conversation that lives in people's minds, and that conversation is generating movement. Most people do not pay any attention to that. This is what we're literally talking about when we're talking about influencing strategies, influencing tactics, about leadership presence. This is what it is. Influencing others in order to co-create coordinated movement. Co-creation has to do with ownership transfer. It's not just my idea anymore. It now has morphed. It's landed in their minds, and they felt it. And when you begin to have that ownership transfer, inspiration has started to move into play here. You can motivate an external goal, but you can't inspire one until you can lock it in and people go, ooh, I want to do that, be that, see that, have that, do that, smell that, taste that, whatever it might be.
Right.
And it lives in here. Possibility, and this goes back to the earlier quote, Charles Dickens, you want to bring possibilities into people's minds, things that they've never truly experienced before. If this were possible, wow. Possibility requires going into unknown territory. Never been here before. How do you inspire and motivate people to keep moving? Well, one of the ways that you do that is to create platforms and environments and situations where the need for coordinated movement comes into play here. How do we do this dance? As we carry ourselves forward? And one of the catalysts in that process is the definition of a worthy ideal. Okay. It's not a 10% revenue increase. It's something that's worthy of my life, my energy, my investment of who I am in the creation of this thing, whatever this thing may be.
Yeah.
So I'll get off my soapbox here.
No, I love that. And leaders, as you listen to the powers of you, we talk about this every week. And through all of the, goodness gracious, with the series we did on decisions and Deming's 14 principles, and the constant is the definition of leadership remains consistent.
Yep.
And I'll remind you, take this apart, take it to heart, listen and think about, what am I doing to influence? Who are the others? What are we co-creating? How is it coordinated? What is the movement? Because movement is change. Change causes a flux in relationships. And then what's the worthy ideal? And the worthy ideal is?
Bingo.
Bum, bum, bum. It's not your vision. It's not to Blaine's point, it's not that, hey, let's go get 10% more margin and profit. And those are things. They're things that you may go pursue, but they are not the worthy ideal. The worthy ideal is what matters. And it not only matters to you as the leader, but it has to matter to your team, to the individuals, and be in alignment, be congruent. I didn't get there's a word I haven't used for all, congruent.
Congruent.
Yes. Congruent with the direction of the organization. That is for the sake of what? And that congruency, this particular piece, this for the sake of what, is critically important for massive motivation.
Yep. This is where
those two pieces.
Yep. Exactly. That's where you tap into inspiration. Your vision, goals, and objectives are motivating instruments.
Yes.
What matters is an inspirational instrument. And you can't tell somebody why this matters, why that matters, why, what we're doing matters. You have to ask them. They have to go spelunking. They have to go looking for an answer to that question.
Yeah. It's
and
funny.
When it drops in, it resonates.
It's funny. I smiled when you said that. I was on the phone on a Zoom earlier today with a client, and we were talking specifically about that. And there was a statement on, I just don't understand why, I've told them why this matters. And it's like, that's awesome. That's exactly the opposite of what you need to do.
Huh?
Let's explore that just a skosh. So yeah, that's the for the sake of what. And this is a really important pivot point. By the way, in anything you build with as you're building, you're thinking about 2026 and where are we going and what are we doing? Have clarity here. It all starts here.
Yep.
Clarity here is critically important. Without clarity here, you're building vision, strategy, and tactics.
Yeah, and it's on a house of cards because you will not have that coupling of inspiration. You'll have compliance, but not commitment.
Yeah.
This generates commitment. Motivation generates compliance.
There you go.
And you can't afford, as you're scaling your organizations, to have compliant behavior. You want to have people that are committed, because that's where innovation, that's where creativity starts to appear. That's how you can begin to scale smarter, not just harder.
Matters.
So, speaking of scaling, here's a guy that has got he's scaled one or two organizations. Sir Richard Branson. Yeah.
Just a
And
little bit.
he was asked, at one point in time, what, if he could answer the question, what would be one of the secret ingredients in the secret sauce that enables the success that he's had with Virgin Atlantic, with Virgin Records, with, just name the organization that he set up. And not just in one market sector. I mean, from entertainment to airlines. I mean, that's a broad spectrum. What's been the common denominator? This is the question that he was asked. And he says, I try to treat people as human beings. If they know you care, it brings out the best in them. And he is really clear that you do not build a great organization with mediocre people.
No.
You build great organizations with great people, and how you get great people is a function of the leadership that you bring to the table.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking at with this.
Yeah. Very important. Love that sentence. If they know you care, if they know, and that has to be authentic.
It does. Yeah.
You can't fake your way into that.
Nope. This has direct influence on trust, on the experience of safety.
Yes.
The willingness to take risks, to be creative. I mean, all of that stuff comes into play here.
Yeah.
I got your back.
Gotta let them try. There you go.
So, massive motivation. Here's, we'll just kind of parse this down to two basic elements.
Yeah.
Number one being, it's all about meaning. It's all about meaning. What does this mean to me? I know you want me to do it, but what does it mean to me? And you can't tell me what it means.
Yeah.
You have to hear that. You can't tell them what it means to them.
Please say that one more time. Please hear that.
You can't tell them what it means to them. You can't do that. I know you're going to try.
Yes.
I told them why this was important. Yeah, well, okay. And that fell on deaf ears. And
it's funny.
I was thinking,
here you go. I was thinking of where you place that comma. You can't tell them, comma, what it means to them. So you can't tell them what it means, comma. To them. It is it's important. That's such an important statement. And it goes back to that, for the sake of what?
It does.
You got to discover it. Meaning is a discovery, is an act of discovering. Remember we didn't say this explicitly when we talked about the definition of leadership, but leaders cause movement, right? Leaders cause movement. The act of discovery is an act of moving.
Yep. That's what you want to have, is that discovery process in the front end. And this is, how do you inspire people? Well, number one, it's, you can't inspire me. But what you can do is you can begin asking questions of me that will begin an inquiry that all of a sudden the light bulb goes off and I go, "Ooh, that's kind of interesting."
Yeah.
What if? And I start to lean in. My good friend of mine, Sam Horn, she's a brilliant marketer. She calls these eyebrow raising moments. If their eyebrows go up, it means you've got their attention.
Yeah.
We're going to raise we're going to increase revenues by 10%. Huh? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. No eyebrow movement here.
Yeah. Grumble.
You get eyebrow movement, all of a sudden you've opened the door to inspiration.
Yeah. That's
meaningful.
I love that.
Yeah. And then when you see the eyebrows, you can go, okay, tell me what just happened here. What was interesting for you in what I just said?
That's right.
And they go, ooh, yeah. Thanks for that question. So what's happening? What's being tapped into is for the sake of what? Eyebrows go up for the sake of what is kind of for the sake of what is in the room.
Right. Yeah. Such a good statement. Just to start, just the very first part of the statement. What people actually needs is not a tensionless state. Just stop, take a breath. Because one of the things I think leaders get hung up on, I was thinking about this yesterday and this morning, Blaine, was leaders get hung up on, I don't want tension. I don't want. Let's just everybody get along. I want to go into the meeting and have everybody talk about how nice it was. What a man actually needs is not a tensionless state, but rather the striving and struggling for some goal worthy of him.
You think about a caterpillar entering the chrysalis and entering the cocoon.
Yeah.
When it starts to come out, if you try to help it,
right.
Yeah, you will never get a butterfly out of that. It's
No.
the striving and the struggling of a worthy goal. Transformation into butterflyness. Yeah, that's the worthy goal. That's the for the sake of what? You have to struggle. The caterpillar, the emerging butterfly, has to develop the strength. And then part of that comes with the emergence process.
Yep.
There is tension there. There is pain sometimes. And pain doesn't have to mean suffering. It can be just, ouch, this is hurting. But suffering is, we won't go into that. That's a whole Buddhistic thing. We're not going to, that's a tunnel.
Yes, we could.
Right now. But you want to have struggle, struggle and striving. And struggle doesn't have to be hard. I mean, I used to do a lot of rock climbing, way back in my youth. And I remember being on a three-point perch, about 150 feet up in the air on this rock face. And it's kind of like, I'm struggling here, guys. But a worthy ideal, the metaphor is just.
And you're still here, by the way.
I'm still here, yes.
I understand.
I found a little crack that was about as wide as a piece of paper that I hooked my fingernail into, and I was able to get up and over, and away we went. But I was struggling and I was striving, and I was so proud when I got to the top. I did not have to rappel down. Nobody had to catch me and save me. But
that's a really important point, though. I mean, to your analogy, I love that analogy. I've never heard that story before. I've known you for years and years. Didn't know that. So, but it's interesting you mentioned that, because when you talk about, I found a crack about the width of a paper crack, or and to get your fingernails in there. It is that moment in that struggle where you look at it. There is a way. It's the difference between I wish and I will.
Mm-hmm.
There is a way. There is a way. There is a way.
Yep.
And that's such a powerful thing about it. Does not mean struggle. Does not mean this isn't about pain.
No, but it is about testing myself. It is about, coming up to what I think is a limit and then finding there is a way.
Right.
To go beyond that. When Viktor Frankl wrote Man's Search for Meaning, that was not an accidental title. He was looking about what kept people alive, what kept them positioned so that they would eventually end up thriving in their lives when all of the stuff had faded into the background.
Right.
And he said it was the search for meaning. What's the meaning in this that inspires me to keep going?
Right. Yeah, I love that. It is about the meaning. But what he needs is not the discharge of tension at any cost, but the call of a potential meaning waiting to be fulfilled by him. It is not the burn, it is the meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And if we hook it back to that worthy ideal, this is when you are, as the leader, and if you don't know the answer to your worthy ideal, go figure it out. For the sake of what? Go figure that out. But it is, when you look at it and you think about this statement, what a man actually needs is not a tensionless state, but rather the striving and struggling for some goal worthy of him. If you don't understand the worthy ideal, there's no getting to the end. The worthy ideal has to be tied. And then the question to you as the leader is, what ideal do you serve as that leader? What are you serving towards that ideal?
Yeah, because your people will continue to ask you to ease the tension a bit.
Oh,
ease the tension. Yeah.
Yes,
There's too much pressure here. Pressure is good in this context.
Yes.
Assuming that you actually keep that for the sake of what on the table. You keep it in front of people. Yes, I understand that you're frustrated. I understand that this didn't go the way we wanted this week. And here's where we're heading. And here's what we're doing. Here's what we're moving towards. Understand you're disappointed here. And we're still going in this direction.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the inspiration motivation dynamic, and that this is the challenge for you as a leader is to find
Yes.
ways to massively motivate, massively inspirationally motivate. As a matter of
Yes.
fact, we should change the title to the Hidden Laws. It's not massive motivation; it's inspirational motivation.
It is. That would actually we should just repronounce it and just change it.
Yep, we're gonna make
We
an
have the
executive decision here. That's what
we have
we're gonna do.
we have the power to do that. But it's such a good statement. The crucible of meaning.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
good.
I did
Go
a lot
ahead.
of work, not a lot of work. I did some work with Warren Bennis before he died, and Warren, I think,
Oh
wrote
yeah.
36 books, something like that, all on leadership. He was acknowledged as a leadership guru. He advised, I think, 6 different presidents. And he wrote a book called The Crucible. And for him, the crucible was, I mean, if you think about, and I did some work in the steel industry years and years and years ago, and I'd be in a steel mill, and they've got these crucibles where the hot metal goes in, and there's pressure, and so the crucible is what provides the mechanism for something new or something refined to emerge. Without the pressure, without the heat, without the challenge, something possible doesn't, number one, become visible, and number two, very likely won't move into probability, which means it'll never be a reality as far as you're concerned. So, process or situation of intense pressure. This is the role of a leader. Leaders cause change.
Yep.
They cause change. It's not kumbaya. It's about, we are in the middle of something here. A good life is one hero journey after another. And this is Joseph Campbell's Pathways to Bliss, the hero's journey.
Yeah. It's that. And if you've not ever studied the hero's journey, watch a commercial on TV. 60 seconds, you see the entire hero's journey. You see it 60 seconds. Or go watch Star Wars, the hero's journey. Go watch. But I love this quote: a good life is one hero journey after another. Over and over, you are called to the realm of adventure. You are called to new horizons. That's the call. That's the call to a leader. That's the call that calls you to be a leader, and that's the call for you to call to your team.
Yep. Yeah.
And go ahead.
Well, I was going to say just progressive challenges. The way that an organization grows is by taking on things it's never done before. If you're doing stuff that you've always done before, just a little bit different iteration of it, you're not growing. You're just kind of treading water. Organizations grow when they take on these incredibly audacious objectives that they are, organizing around mattering. Why does this matter? We're moving into this territory. Why does that matter?
Yeah.
And then there's pressure that gets created when you start having people move. Again, I go back to the initial statement. How do I get people to do what needs to be done that they don't want to do? People do not want to move into the unknown, typically.
Yeah.
They just do not like that uncertainty, the experience of I'm not safe. What's expected of me? I'm going to look foolish. I mean, all of those things start to happen when you start moving into the unknown, when you start taking on new possibilities that nobody's ever played with before.
Yeah.
It's a hero's journey.
It is that. It's funny because I was looking at, just going back and looking at this again, Blaine, because when we think about it, it's in the Marine Corps, the crucible is the last act of boot camp.
Yep, it is. That's right.
And it's having a son that's a Marine as a son. I know the story of the crucible, and it's really interesting when you think about it. It is that forge, that crucible is to your point, right? In the steel mill, it's that forge that shapes you, and it shapes you for the next version. Without those crucibles, without those heroes' journeys, without that path, you don't continue to get shaped to the leader that you aspire to become. Because if you're still the guy that you were yesterday, or a person you were yesterday, your business is dying. What are you aspiring to become? And I love that last sentence. And through that, there's always the possibility of a fiasco. But there's also the possibility of bliss. It might just work out.
Yeah.
It might.
It just might. And if it did, hoo-ah. And if it didn't, nobody took your birthday away. You're going to have to start over. This is why one of the reasons that we look at the success through the lens of developing the capacity to continuously start over. Oops, it didn't work. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Well, my big boy pants on again. And
oh God, I got a family dinner. I'm using that. I'm taking your birthday back. So there you go. I can do that with my son number 4 tonight. I'm taking your birthday back.
Taking your birthday back, yeah.
But it's fun. You mentioned that, and I think there's this paradigm. I think that this crucible of meaning from massive motivation is really important to kind of lean into, and it is that there is the possibility of bliss at the end. There's also the possibility of not bliss. But through that process, you become a better leader.
Yeah. Yeah. And the interesting dynamic on, there's no guarantee here. Yeah. I mean, if there was a guarantee, there's no growth. I mean, literally, there's no growth. If there's a guaranteed success, somebody somewhere is going to backstop you. They're going to know how to do it. And you're not going to grow. You're not going to learn anything new.
That's right.
And your organization is atrophying as a consequence of that. They have to, the pace of change in today's world requires crucibles.
It does. It does.
I mean, you just think, AI right now is everywhere. And there's a lot of pressure on people in organizations to learn how to use some of this stuff. These are new tools that are coming on. The buggy whip is going to be obsolete. Yeah. So this is a new tool.
I would dare anybody that's listening to this to produce a buggy whip. Show me a buggy whip and a picture while you're listening to this, and I'll send you $5.
I want to see the buggy whip, manufacturing plant.
Yeah, exactly. You won't find it. But I love this because these lessons in putting the capstone on the 7 hidden laws. This massive motivation. If you go back and listen to all of them, the way this ends is it really truly is. It is about that this crucible, the process of situation of intense pressure that results in something refined, new or refined. That is what comes out of it, and that's your thinking, your mindset, your thinking, your use of imagination, your intuitive hit, all of the things that we've talked about through all of this, your self-awareness, your vibrational fit, all of these come into play. And do you dare? One of the most important things in the rightness, smack dab in the middle of this paragraph is, do I dare?
Do I dare?
Do I dare? And it goes
I will.
I know. It goes to the 3 choices. I can do nothing and leave things as they are. I can pretend it doesn't exist, or I can enact change.
So when you think of yourself as a leader, what's your worthy ideal? What are you striving to be? How are you, who do you need to be to have what you want tomorrow?
Yeah.
Do you dare be that? You don't have to know how you're going to be it. Yeah. You don't even have to know how you're going to even begin to start it. But it starts with answering the question, do you dare?
Yeah. I love that. Do I dare? And the answer is, I will. You don't want to say, I wish. I wish I was a better leader.
Yeah. Well, stop wishing. I know where to do it. And here's one possibility.
There will be an opportunity to lead another organization somewhere else. Shortly.
Yeah. So we do these Hidden Laws of Leadership is the latest episode series with this Power of You program that we do. Our intent, Doland and I mean, you see the color of our hair. We've been around a while, about 90 years combined in this whole leadership development space. Yeah. What we're doing right now is giving back. We want to make available information, knowledge, wisdom that we've accumulated over 90 years combined. And we've got a lot of it. if you want to have your future be what you would desire it to be, that worthy ideal, either for yourself, your people, or your company, get on the horn with us. I mean, get on, schedule a meeting. It's not a sales meeting. All we want to be able to do is say, hey, what's up? How can we support you? How can we support you in implementing these ideas into your leadership style and into your organization?
Yeah.
And that's essentially what we're setting up here, is a conversation, and we'll see where it goes.
Perfect.
And that's the URL. So feel free to give us a call.
Do that.
Or schedule a conversation, I guess would be a better way to say it.
It'll be on a video thing. There'll be no phones involved. So
no phones involved. No, we will be.
There's no phones. There you go. Give me a call. There you go.
That's it right there. Zoom call.
Cal.team. So the important thing is, hey, look, whenever we have these calls with clients, and we have them, one of three things happens, right? We get together and we kind of go, you know what? Here's an idea on something you can go try, and we share ideas with you, and it gives you an opportunity to go away with something actionable. The other thing is hey, we're not sure, but we know someone who is.
Yep.
And let us connect you to that person, because it's not, we know a lot of stuff, but we don't know it all yet. We're working on that part. We're working on it. We're going to get there. The third thing that happens is just a simple question. How do we help you? Do we help you by working with you? Do we help you by having a periodic conversation? What do we do to help you go? Because one conversation gives you that place where you can start. All of it is generally painless. It's about a 20-minute process. Typically painless. So, and if you want to explain the hero's journey, we'll do that too. We can tell you about the hero's journey.
We will do that too. Okay.
Dr. Bartlett.
All kinds of stories.
Yes, we do.
Well, folks, we'll catch you on the next episode. Don't think that we have made a decision yet on what that one's going to be, but it will be next Thursday at noon.
It's going to be really good.
It's going to be really good, whatever it is. Guaranteed.
It
will be
really good. I can see us reflecting in my eyes. Therefore, I know it's going to be really good. So.
Perfect. Great.
All right.
Folks, Dr. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode of The Power of You with Doland White and Blaine Bartlett.
See you there.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.